Well, Bruno, hard to find positives when you lose a derby by that scoreline?
No, it's not hard. You have to look at what you did well, and obviously it's not enough because you want to win football games and not seeing positives from the game. What we did today was not enough to get the result, and that's all we have to take from this game. Obviously, look at what you have to do better and go forward to the next game.
Okay, what's the answer to that? What do you need to do better?
Well, we need to score goals and not concede. That's the main thing of football, and I think we keep creating chances to score. We're not able to score as many or as much as we wanted, and I think we have to be more in control in certain situations. Obviously, I think we conceded 3 goals where we could have avoided. I think the first one, when we need to be more brave when we go on a full pressure on a 1v1. As City takes that risk today against us, we need to do the same. And then the second goal from a throw-in, I think we need to be much more aware in that moment. And the third goal is things like that can happen, and then you need to be better positional to not get a counter like that.
So just give us your perspective on the first goal, because you mentioned it there. It looked at one point like you had Foden, and then obviously Doku beats his man. You look like you go out, and obviously at this level it only takes a second. He's in behind you and he scores.
If I was trying to press Rodri because the aim for the game was for one of the midfielders to jump on Rodri, one of defenders jumping on Foden. In the first moment where I can cover both, and then Lenny decides to come up. When I look at him, I see that he comes up, so I try to go a little bit more towards Rodri. Vardiol does a good pass to Foden, and Lenny was going backwards, and because of a miscommunication, we end up giving too much space for them to go up the pitch, and that's what I mean. I think when we need to take more risk, and we have to be more brave with the last line to be a little bit more high. Because if you see City, when every time we pass the ball backwards to our centre backs, they go on 3 against 3, and their line squeezes so much, and it's very difficult to play through the lines because the spaces between them are very, very narrow.
How challenging as well is it sometimes as a midfield too? It looked from where I was sat like they're trying to overwhelm you in that area, outnumber you in that area. Do you sense that? Do you feel that?
No, because we play with a back 5, or sometimes with a back 4, or the back 3, or whatever you want to call it, and we need obviously people to be very, very aggressive in the moment of pressure. We need to get the moments of jumping, because if not, the midfielders get every time under load. Because if you look at City, they had Rodri, TG, Bernardo coming in, then they had Foden. They make basically a midfield 4 against the 2. So you need the ones in behind you to jump, like Luke was doing very well on DG, like we did it in the first game against Arsenal. That's why they didn't play. They couldn't find the spaces to play, and that's what makes the spaces very narrow for the teams to play against a team that is very aggressive when you go on the front foot. If you're not brave enough to do that, it's very difficult, and then they will find the spaces and the gaps to play, because we're playing against a top team. We're not playing against a bad opponent, and obviously when you play against teams with this quality, they will find the small gaps and they will play the balls.
Yeah, I know it's difficult in this moment, but does it still feel like you're kind of heading in the right direction? Because at times this season it has felt like that, but then you have obviously nights like Grimsby, and then you have a day like today, which, like you say, maybe there's positives in the performance, but it's a pretty heavy defeat against your City rivals.
Of course, I think the result is very bad, and it's very bad on us, but I think it's 2 ways of looking at this game, because I think the goals could have been avoided from our side. I think on the ball we were very, very positive. We were very brave. We were playing the ball forward. When we created our chances, we could have been a little bit more clean with our chances, but we not get anything from that. So we wanted what City got, was the 3 points, and it doesn't matter how you get it. City was smart to get the goals in the way they did. They have a very good team, very good players, and obviously compliment to them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You explained that. Brilliant.
If you look at the goals, we can avoid that kind of goals. With Doku, we have almost everyone behind the ball, and we could be more aggressive. The second goal, in the moment of the game that we are pressing City, we suffer a goal in the throw-in when we want to recover the ball instead of covering the space and then to win the ball. We let 2 players of City 1 against 1. The approach that we had in that play, we can avoid, and we can close our goal. And then the third goal, the Haaland has all the space, a confusion with our players, and then he has all the space to play. So in these moments, I felt that if you look at the goals, there are that moments we could avoid, and that is the key of the games, is to take advantage of these moments, and they took it, and not in us, in transitions. Great shot from Ryan. In those moments, they were better than us.
Hi, Ruben. I mean, it's eight Premier League wins since you've been here. At some stage, you're going to have to accept that the way you set up your team is just not working. It's not creating enough wins, and people are finding it easy to play against you.
Find it easy to play against, guys. You have I understand that, and I accept. So it's not a record that you should have in Manchester United. There are a lot of things that you have no idea what happened during these months, but I accept that. But I'm not going to change. When I want to change my philosophy, I will change. If not, you have to change the man. So and we will talk about that every game that we lose. I don't believe in that in the system or whatever. So I play my way, and I'm going to play my will until I want to change.
Well, a lot of tactical chat from Bruno Fernandes. When you think about what he said there, Roy, is that suggestion that the system is at fault there, or the way they've actually tried to deploy the system against such a good side?
I don't think he was saying that. He's not going to come out after a game and start criticising the system. I don't think so. And we also know every team that Pep's manager, he tries to overload the midfield, he tries to outnumbers or whatever the system might be. But he's made the point there. I think it's a pretty honest interview that they should have done better for the goals. As simple as that. They should have been sharper in their own play going forward. But I said it earlier, this United team, they lack that real quality. They struggle defensively. The midfield, round about United breaking the press. But when teams get United look all over the place. I think United are an average team, an average Premier League team. The stats will tell you that. And I'm going back to last season as well. So again, we're sitting here. United's record as well against any of the top 6 teams or whatever is really, really poor. They can't seem to compete. They'll have maybe a good 45 minutes or a good hour. Bruno makes the point here. They've kind of done it quite well against Arsenal, but they lost the game at home to Arsenal. Ultimately, you are playing for Man United to win football matches. And when you say we're coming up against quality teams, yeah, but that's part of the challenge. When you sign that contract, you're going, yeah, it's no good just beating the teams, the lesser teams. You're playing for Man United to compete against other good teams, and United can't do that. Whether they're not good enough, there's obviously issues. Talk about the system, but the manager's come in. He's sticking to his guns. He's not budging. But the results, and we look at the points per game and the goals for, goals against.
So that's a concern.
It does concern me. It's not good reading. I came here today, and sometimes at United with a bit of history, they've done it last year. But as soon as the game starts, you're looking, going, oh, you're worried. But you get that feeling against. You get that feeling against when they're playing any decent team. But even when you think, we said they've scored 4 goals, and we think United are a bit better going forward now. 2 of them were penalties, so they're not exactly a free-scoring team. And going, listen, we might score 2 or 3, and we might give up a few. It's like almost the same problems as last year. And what we were told, the new manager needs a pre-season. He needs his own players. I don't know how much you've spent. Another good few hundred million.
200 million, yeah.
200 million.
Over 200 million.
Over 200 million. So we keep making excuses, but at some stage you go, well, when are we going to see the signs? Now, people say give manager time, and of course, but we saw Slot going into Liverpool last year. Liverpool might have been kind of a better team at United at that stage, but he ends up winning the league. You look at other managers, you see Frank going into Spurs, you go, am I going to see signs of Spurs improving? And yeah. So how long do you keep waiting when this team are probably getting a point a game? That's what you'd probably...
But those managers that you talked about, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this as well.
Well played. Phil, you paid tribute to Ricky Hatton before kick-off. Was that for Ricky?
100%. I had extra motivation going into the game. And yeah, it was for him and his family and the people suffering right now. But yeah, the lads made sure today that we gave everything. As you can see, it weren't a pretty match at the end, but the way we run, yeah, it was all for him, and we're delighted with the result.
Erling, there was just a sense of something before kick-off today. Was that a hugely motivated Man City performance?
Yeah, definitely, and you could feel it as well, from the fans and everything. We kind of needed this, or say whatever you want. You always want to win the derby, but you could feel it a bit extra today, and I'm so relieved. I'm so happy that we managed to do this all together. It's not nice to win games, as I said to you a couple of days ago, but we have to keep going, and we have to keep this guy going, because we need him so much, and yeah, today we're super happy.
I mean, that was something like his best, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and this is the Phil we need. All Man City are waiting for this, and we're going to help him as much as we can to make him as good as he was the season before last season, I think.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
You've done well.
Exactly.
You've done better than you think.
Yeah.
Phil, there was, I don't know, it's easy with hindsight, but I almost from your pre-match interview, I had the feeling that you came with a sense today that, right, time to remind people, time to re-announce myself.
Definitely, there's been a lot of talk I've seen.
Is it impossible not to hear that?
Yeah, it is impossible a bit. Everything I see at the moment is quite negative, but that's the world we're living when you're playing at the highest level, and
won't be tomorrow morning.
you never know. But when you obviously come off winning the Player of the Season as well, the standards are higher, and I understand that. So it's about reading them comments and just trying to react the best I can and come back to my level.
And Erling, he's not the only player who played well today. I mean, we haven't got time to ask about everything, but just as you went through on goal for the second one, having had somehow the one before that doesn't go in, hits the post, but still, there's just no sense that anyone's going to catch you, and no sense there's any doubt in your mind. Was again that interview a few days ago, you talked about the importance of a free mind. Did we see it?
Yeah, we saw it, and I wasn't a lot. I had the big chance a bit before, but then it was a bit of a not stopping the game, but I wasn't a lot involved. And as I said, that's exactly why I celebrated as I did, because I was free in my mind.
He's talked about you, Phil. Finish on Erling, because it wasn't just the goals today. Heading things away, volleying things away, a complete performance, quite a leader's performance, should we say?
Yeah, you got it right there. Complete performance. The way he holded the ball at the end when we were struggling. Yeah, he did everything today. Defending, attacking, running in behind, also doing the dirty work, pressing for the team. Yeah, it was a full shift from him today, and yeah, we need that more.
Thank you, mate.
This is lovely. Right, there's a Player of the Match award to give out. Could have been Jeremy. Could have been Phil.
Anyone there?
It's Erling. Would you mind, Phil?
Well deserved, my
Thank you, mate. I might give it
There you go,
to
brother.
Gigi to Donnarumma, actually.
Yeah.
Some save, wasn't it?
He was unbelievable.
Oh, he was.
Don't forget him.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Well done, sorry.
I think even Roy enjoyed that.
Well, obviously they're pleased with the win.
They've got the joy back, haven't they? Is he watching that?
Yeah, it's good to see two top players, and especially Phil Foden there alluding, of course they read and see the criticism, people are going to question him, but he's built that up for himself because of how good he's been.
So it's the standards that he has set himself that he has fallen below.
And he'll know that, and he's carried a lot of weight, from a young teenager moving through, the ranks at Manchester City. He's carried a lot of weight with how talented he is. And for him to just slot back into the midfield and perform the way he did today, I think everything he did today was of the highest quality. The way he was zipping the ball in and around the midfield, his first sort of touch was always excellent, his passing, the weight of pass was clean, everything about his performance just oozed class, and there's no pressure on him to go and do the same again next week. There's pressure on him just to be himself and just be Phil Foden, and I thought we saw the best of him today.
I want to give him a little bit of an excuse though, because when the standards dropped a little bit, he was out the team. So if you look at someone like Cole Palmer, even if his standards drop, his first name on the team sheet, so he can play his way back into form. Whereas last season, Kevin De Bruyne or Bernardo Silva or whoever it may be. So that's the excuse I will give him. But the reason why we talk about him so much, because he's got so much talent. And last season, even in the games where he did get a little bit of a run, he wasn't at the level he knows he should be. So this season, no Kevin De Bruyne talk, it's all about him. He played in the centre today, where we know that's at his best. That's where he can cause all sorts.
That's part of his journey. Since he's got in the team, he's been amazing. So he's not going to go through his whole career without having disappointing spells. He's talking about reading negativity, but that's part of his journey. But you do the business today like you did, and you get back up, get back in the swing of things. He's got the quality, he's shown that before, and just regroup now and go again, new team, and again he's one of the kind of senior players now with the new lads coming in. So as much as you look at yourself, he's there now to help the other players as well. So that's another important lesson for him. It's not just about him all the time; it's about helping the other players, just like Haaland did today.
How much do you think the goal helped him?
Massively. I just think he needed that moment, and as he talked about it before, when the goal went in, it's just what makes him so good, Foden. He can always get into positions. He's always scanning. You see, Doku gets on the ball here in the half spaces, but he wants to get on the end of it, and it's the timing of his run, being in there. How many times you see midfielders not making the right run, the timing's a little bit off? But Foden, when he's ghosted in there...
But the key is, Mike, as well, don't be too early, what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's all about the timing.
It's brilliant skill, obviously, but he makes the header look easy.
Yeah, he did. That's what good players did, and certainly wasn't an easy header. But because of his time, and at least he's coming onto it, and he's thinking, listen, there's a big area there, if I can just hit it. And again, the United keeper, we always look, I'm not blaming him for the goal, but it doesn't look that big, does it, when the ball goes into the back of the net? But an excellent finish, and the key was not getting there too early.
There's a comparison season on season. This is what Erling Haaland was actually referencing there. Go back 2 seasons when they last won the title. 19 goals and 8 assists. That's the player that City desperately need again, especially as De Bruyne's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, Foden, Doku as well, who contributed in the game today. We looked at his numbers pre-match, and we know that, well, he'll know that he needs to apply more sort of output in terms of goals and assists, and he created a lot today. Foden hitting those numbers, 19 goals the season before last, that's a lot from a midfielder who gets played wide and rotated their position. If he hits anywhere between 7 and 19 for the last 2 seasons this season, I think it's success for him on a personal level. But it's the way they work. City's system, like Doku could have easily been playing a match today.
Yeah.
but he doesn't get it, but he contributes. And that's exactly, you think back to all the successful Pep Guardiola team winning Premier League titles, there's contributions from all over the pitch, and I'm sure that they'll be delighted with that, but they have to do more. They have to keep going.
It's a sign of a good team, isn't it? Or a good performance when there are so many contenders for player of the match. What was different about Doku, do you think, today? We saw it with the first goal and with the second.
I think his strengths as an individual player are his speed, he's dynamic, he's good 1v1 with his back to goal and facing up the defender. He used the space well, and I think that there's always been that question mark over Doku around his end product, and this is here now, the strength just to hold off Yoro here and just feed that little pass. And that little pass, I wouldn't imagine last season he would have played this cleanly, but the timing of Haaland's run, just the connection between the two of them makes it happen. But the strength in this moment here, low centre of gravity. And then what's so important on the move is the weight of pass. It lands into an area where Haaland doesn't even need to take a touch. Just a one-touch finish, lift it over the keeper.
Oh, sorry, again, obviously we talk about City's strength and power and decision-making, particularly in them tight areas. The opposite to United. United look weak.
We can have another look at it, Roy.
Yeah, we can look at the defensive side of it. Yeah, give all credit to Man City, very good player. But you look at United here, players just not getting tight enough, all too easy. Decision making here. Why are you getting too tight to a player when you know he's going to be stronger than you? Shaw all over the place. Haaland, we know he's brilliant at it, but just far too easy. United just look like an average team, a really average team. And take nothing away from City today, but I bet you City's attacking play today. But I couldn't believe how easy it was. I know United had a go at the end, but the game was over by then. And we give credit to Haaland again. That way the pass, lovely. The timing wasn't quite right in the first half. And when the second goal goes in, the game's over. United fans were leaving. You just felt it in the air that there's no coming back. They got out of jail last year, but not today.
I know we'll talk about United a little bit later on, but you just see that the system, it's not helping the players at all. At all. You see on that goal there, I don't know if we can play it one more time. All the defenders are going for the same ball. It's like, when do we push up? When do we drop?
And the first goal, Michael.
But just look at, you've got Euro there, you've got De Ligt, and you've got Shaw. It's 3 versus 2, and Haaland still ends up winning the ball and scoring the goal. It's because of the system. They don't know if they should drop. Look at De Ligt there. He doesn't know, shall I go with Haaland? Is anyone speaking? And this lack of communication. If you're going to play in that system, you should at least be talking in the free, and it's a hard system to play because when do you push up and when do you drop off? But it's just too easy. Fantastic finish from Haaland, but United made.
Well, we'll reflect on United even at the start of the season so far. 4 games, there's 4 points and 4 goals, conceded 7. Obviously got beaten by Grimsby as well. For all the money they've spent, and obviously new manager coming in, needs time to settle in, needs a pre-season, needs his own players. Just very average team in this Premier League. There's no signs things are getting better for this United.
Well, talk about too easy. What about the third goal?
Well, obviously it's Haaland. We know his strengths, and United again all over the place. They're trying to get back into the game, sloppy play. Again, if you stop it there, look at United defenders. My goodness, you got one of the best strikers in the world running from the halfway line. Maguire's never catching him, and there was never any doubt he was going to finish it. Again, look at United here. The players' body language short. These players. He's obviously onside. Of course, he's run from his own half, and then you never doubt him. And it's just this little touch here, just that one there, just gives him a chance to open it out. And these players, Haaland, it's that little one there, just the keeper. All the great strikers, listen, brilliant finish, and again, never in doubt. And he probably could have scored a few more.
You had a fancy for Haaland today. Roy's right, he could well have had a hat-trick.
Yeah, I mean, I said before the game, I don't know, it's just his energy, the way he is in the national break. He just seems, Haaland, he seems happy, he seems energised. And yeah, I had him in my fantasy as well, so I wanted I expect him to score that. I don't know what he's doing.
I think everybody in the world expected him to score that.
But in terms of putting himself out, another Doku pass there, over there, lovely touch, round the goalkeeper. He just put it in.
Is he trying to knock it back post because the defender's coming across?
Yes, I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. But if you look at his touch here there, he can just side foot it now. He dives into it when he doesn't need to dive into it there.
But when the City players were going down the side of United, or they were running away from, as if United players were caught out, as if they didn't realise how quick City were or sharp they were. United looked like, I didn't know he'd be coming down the side. And you're going, well, you must have done your preparation. You must watch these players week in, week out. They seem cut out all the time, as if, I didn't expect Haaland to be on my shoulder. Where else is he going to be? And again, we'll give credit for Haaland for obviously attacking play. But again, you're on about being a team player. And we'll praise him as well for coming back and doing a good job defensively. You have to give him a thumbs up for that.
We've got some evidence of...
He's not going to come out after a game. Is that criticising the system? I don't think so. And we also know every team that Pep's manager, he tries to overload the midfield, he tries out numbers, whatever the system might be. But he's made the point there, I think it's a pretty honest interview, that they should have done better for the goals, as simple as that. They should have been sharper in their own play going forward. But I said it earlier, this United team, they lack that real quality. They struggle defensively, the midfield. around about United breaking the press, but when teams get United look all over the place. I think they're just United are an average team, an average Premier League team. The stats will tell you that, and I'm going back to last season as well. So again, we're sitting here. United's record as well against any of the top 6 teams or whatever is really, really poor. They can't seem to compete. They'll have maybe a good 45 minutes or a good hour. Bruno makes the point here. They kind of done it quite well against Arsenal, but they lost the game at home to Arsenal. Ultimately, you are playing for Man United to win football matches. And when you say we're coming up against quality teams, yeah, but that's part of the challenge. When you sign that contract, you're going, yeah, it's no good just beating the teams, the lesser teams. You're playing for Man United to compete against other good teams, and United can't do that. Whether they're not good enough, there's obviously issues. Talk about the system, but the manager's come in. He's sticking to his guns. He's not budging. But the results, and we look at the points per game and the goals for, goals against.
So that's a concern.
It does concern me. It's not good reading. I came here today, and sometimes at United with a bit of history, they've done it last year. But as soon as the game starts, you're looking, going, oh, you're worried. But you get that feeling against when they're playing any decent team. But even when you think, we said they've scored 4 goals, and we think United are a bit better going forward now. 2 of them were penalties. So they're not exactly a free-scoring team and going, listen, we might score 2 or 3 and we might give up a few. It's like almost the same problems as last year. And what we were told, the new manager needs a pre-season. He needs his own players. I don't know how much they've spent. Another good few hundred million.
200 million, yeah.
200 million.
Over 200 million.
Over 200 million. So we keep making excuses, but at some stage you go, well, when are we going to see the signs? Now, people say give manager time, of course. But we saw Slot going into Liverpool last year. Liverpool might have been kind of a better team at United at that stage, but he ends up winning the league. You look at other managers, you see Frank going into Spurs, you go, am I going to see signs of Spurs improving? And yeah. So how long do you keep waiting when this team are probably getting a point a game? That's what you'd probably...
But those managers that you talked about, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this as well, guys. You talked about Thomas Frank, known for being an adaptable, flexible manager. Slot sort of didn't try and change too much when he went in and almost just tried to tweak Jurgen Klopp's system. So
yeah, my worry is...
I think the problem is with the manager and the tactics he's deploying.
But my worry is with the players now, and Bruno's talking there, is that maybe the players haven't got that much faith in it. So as much as the manager's gone, this is where we're going, lads, and at the start you're probably going, yeah, new manager, new ideas, something different. But as the results don't come and you keep getting beaten or you're struggling against the better teams, if the players start doubting this system, and we saw the goals are given up today where some are going, some aren't, some are pressing, he's making loads of changes, he's chopping it back with the Maguire at the back, he's bringing Casemiro, and it's like they're going around in circles, this United group. And if the players have lost faith in what the manager's saying, because usually what you want, you're sitting in the dressing room, when the manager says something, you're like, yeah, I'm all in. But if some of the players are now starting to doubt that, I'm not saying they are, but when you see some of the goals they're giving away, you're going, are you all fully on board with this manager going, listen, yeah, whatever you say, we'll do it, we'll run through brick walls for you. I don't quite see it yet. I hope it can change, but we've given the benefit of when he first came in. He didn't want to come in. He said he wanted to come into pre-season, but obviously United said you've got to come in. So results weren't great. You go, okay, listen, first pre-season, give me a pre-season, give me my players. And United are throwing money. And if these are brilliant coaches, you go, well, what are you going to coach these players to make them better? Because some of the decision-making some of these players are making as well, which you've seen today, is like, it's just all wrong. And then not having the strength. But we see Shaw for the first goal now. Shaw's an international footballer. For him to get caught out like that, you're looking going, do you know, Shaw, I think Shaw's been getting away with murder for years at United. Always injured, never quite fit. We make excuses. Then he gets a few games under his belt, and he's making decisions like he doesn't even want to tackle people. Like, we looked at all the stats in the Derby match there. Not one yellow card. And we're having a big build-up. The Manchester Derby, the weather's, it's raining, it's like set up for a few tackles are flying in. You're getting people. I'm United to walk off the pitch. No, I'm sick of repeating myself. You walk up and you go, it's a derby game. You're physically shattered. You shouldn't be able to get out of bed for a week after a tough game. And they're all walking off, and it's not one yellow card.
First time ever in a
but you've got
Manchester
to be
derby.
set up right, though. In terms of Man City's strengths, their strengths in midfield, they dominate the game.
But they're good at tackling for the goals, Micah.
Yeah, of course. But what's happening is they've got 2 in midfield against Man City's 3 in midfield. How are you supposed to cope with that? And we're talking about Foden, Rodri and Reinders. We're the best midfielders in European football.
We've all played in games where you're a midfielder. The system you're up against, they do have an extra midfielder, but you try and compensate with someone. But it doesn't mean you don't tackle.
In that system, you've got an extra centre-back.
You've got to, the centre-back has to jump if you're going to play.
Which is what Bruno was saying.
Exactly that. But what's happening is they're not jumping at the correct times.
Right, well, you get that. You sort that out with your team. That's another new buzzword. Where you jump. Try tackling.
Yeah.
Try hitting somebody. Like the football is a physical game. We love it.
You have to. I agree with you what you're saying to be a bit more physical, but you have to be in the right positions. Going out there against these players who can keep the ball for fun, you can't get anywhere near it. And if you've got 5 at the back just holding it, and you've got 2 in midfield running around like headless
But
chickens,
the reason they can't get near,
it's impossible to get.
But the reason they can't get
near
near me is because they're not mobile enough, they're not fast enough, they're not aggressive enough. They're really good in the ball, but if you gave me time in the ball, I'd still be playing. But part of the game is people closing you down, or being aggressive, or hitting you late, make it physically demanding.
I agree, but we talk about systems all the time, but I genuinely believe Man United would be a better team if they played 4-3-3. I do. I think they've got the players for it now. I think this system is hindering them. They don't know what they're doing. When they're on the ball, they're trying to make something happen. The manager's trying to coach them, but it's not working. They're not.
The only validation they're getting in this system, in the 3-4-3, is when they switch the play, it looks good.
Correct.
But there's nothing else.
Or a counter attack.
Or a fast break. Fast break buzzword. It's how they are effective. It's how they're effective. They either attack really quickly or they switch the play with the 2. You spoke about the 2 midfielders, right, in front of the 3, the back 3. They're so stiff and rigid, and there's no kind of offset shape to them. So, like for the goal, the first goal, if Ugarte doesn't jump out level with Bruno Fernandes and he offsets, I don't think that goal happens.
What was at fault today? Was it the system or the way it was deployed? Are Manchester United good enough to play in this way, or should they be just throwing it out? Nice easy one for you to start with.
He's not going to. I mean, when Ruben Amorim first came, I was quite heartened by the fact that he was going to play 3 at the back, because I felt that they didn't have 2 centre-backs that were good enough to play in a 4. But every single time I watch Manchester United, he changes the back 3 every single game, which tells you he's not sure about which back 3 he should play. And he doesn't just change the back 3, he changes the back 5. So you either have different wing backs or you have different centre-backs. I mean, the amount of times you see Dillick go over to the right-hand side, Maguire coming on, every single match. So, look, system, no system, there are a lot of individual errors out there today as well. Luke Shaw had one of his worst games that I've seen him have. He's had a pretty decent start to the season, but all 3 goals he could have done better. You've just shown the one there where he was square. On the second goal, he was, he got obviously, done by Haaland, and on the third goal he leaves it short for Maguire, who then obviously doesn't help himself either by the pass. So, yeah, they just had a really bad day at the back. But it was a bit of a nothing from United. I mean, they had little moments, 15 minutes in the first half at the start, and they had 5 minutes in the second half before City scored. But look, they're 14th in the league. It's only 4 games in. And we all said at the end of last season, we can't be getting into October where Manchester United are 14th, 15th in the league, or else the manager will be in trouble. Now, there's a few games to go before that, but they have to start winning quickly.